What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I'm really excited about tonight. This is my Hot Topics and Social Commentary live Thursday night at 8 p.m. show. Once again, thank y'all so much for joining me. A couple things I want you guys to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. I'm definitely trying to grow my channel. I'm making a lot more effort or putting a lot more effort rather into my show and into my channel for all of you guys. So please be sure to subscribe to my channel so you do not miss a video. Also, be sure to press the like button on this video and all my other videos, y'all. Takes less than a second to subscribe. Takes less than a second to mash that button. Takes a little bit more than a second to leave a comment, but be sure to leave a comment under this video. Let me know your thoughts on the hot topics that we are discussing on tonight. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTubing streets, y'all. Quick announcement: the Survivor finale was aired last night. My favorite one. It hasn't been since season 44 when Yam Yam won. That's someone that I was rooting for. One Survivor, Kyle, a young Black lawyer. He ended up winning the title of Sole Survivor last night. I was so happy for him. I will be releasing my review for the finale tomorrow. It should be up before 1 or 2. Be on the lookout for that video for my review on the Survivor finale. I thought it was a great season. I really thought that it was a mistake for Kyle to take Joe to the final 3. However, it turned out to work in his favor. But once again, you guys, I'll get more into detail with that. Excuse me. I'll get more into detail with that for my review. So once again, be sure to be on the lookout for my review tomorrow for the Survivor. Excuse me. One thing that I wanted to mention really quickly, there's been this like trend of people doing the Drew Hill hop, in the Tell Me video. Jennifer sent me a couple of those TikToks. And Jennifer, I know you're listening. I'm sorry I didn't watch the TikToks but right before the show. It completely escaped my mind. So I do apologize about that. But Drew Hill is saying y'all got to do it right because all these kids that I'm seeing, their parents make them do it. I saw one parent make her son do 500 or ask her son rather to do 500. I saw this father ask his son to do 50 of them. It's like, so it seems like they know what it is, but they just don't know how to do it right. You just got to, put a little bit more, jump into your step. But anyways, it's hilarious, but also Drew Hill, as y'all know or may not know, is more than likely my favorite male group of all time. A slight second, close second to would be Jagged Edge, and then a close third would be 112, and then we have the NSYNCs and the Backstreet Boys, and the list goes on and on. Also, I went on Instagram today. I don't know if y'all watched Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark was a legendary, iconic, trend-setting show that aired on Logo TV back in the early 2000s. It featured Noah, his boyfriend Wade, who was sort of like the trade, guy that everybody thought was straight, but he was really same gender loving, and he had his 3 best friends with him: Chance, Alex, and what is his name? Ricky. I'm so bad with names sometimes, but I saw on Instagram Patrick Ian Polk, the creator and executive producer of Noah's Ark, released a video on Instagram announcing that there will be a second Noah's Ark movie, and that movie will be premiering on June 20th at 9 p.m. Eastern. I encourage any of you who have not heard of Noah's Ark, or any of you who are fans of Noah's Ark, to please check that out. And Noah's Ark is available on Paramount Plus. The movie will be available exclusively on Paramount Plus on June 20th at 9 p.m. So you guys, please be sure to support that movie. The Noah's Ark was the first television show that truly highlighted African-American men of the Black persuasion and the colored persuasion, because, Ricky seemed like he was kind of mixed with something else. But Noah's Ark was a gateway to my understanding of the LGBTQIA plus community, along with YouTube for me as well. And I also, Jennifer says that I made her watch Noah's Ark while we were on vacation in Myrtle Beach one year for my mother's birthday. I don't remember me making her watch it, but I guess, if she said I did, then, I guess that I did. But we had some downtime back in that time. And so, we were just watching it. But yeah, so the Noah's Ark movie will be coming out on June the 20th. And I am so happy about that. So happy about that. Also, something else that I wanted to mention really quickly. So Donald Trump had a visitor, the president of South Africa. And Donald Trump was pushing some narrative that there was some type of genocide against white people in South Africa. I'm sorry if I said South America prior. South Africa. Apparently, there are a lot of white farmers in South Africa, and he's claiming that a lot of them are being murdered. I can't say murdered on YouTube. A lot of their lives are being taken. Unfortunately, however, the South African president had to correct him about that. It's like, no, the majority of people that are getting their lives taken in South Africa are people who are Black. So, it seems as though Donald Trump is getting a lot of false information from quite a few people. And Donald Trump is just regurgitating it out in front of the public. And as I saw the ladies on The View discuss this particular subject, I don't understand why it is that all of these world leaders are coming to the White House to talk to Donald Trump. I heard that there's been somewhat of a deal between the U.S. and China concerning these tariffs. I also saw, I guess it was a congressional meeting featuring Mark Rubio and some other female who was in who was in Donald Trump's cabinet, and they were asking, why is it that the executive branch, meaning the presidency, seems to be overreaching or not abiding by the judgments that are being made by these federal judges? And Paul Rubio's response was, no one can tell me or the president what we can and cannot do as executives. And it's just all you can do is roll your eyes and pray. All we can do is roll our eyes and pray. Sorry if you guys are down there in the comments. I was just about to say you guys are down in the comments and I can't read the comments. So Jennifer gets here, and Jennifer is here. Hey girl, I see your swoop bun is still intact. I'm so proud of you, even though I saw it for the first time on Monday. How are you doing, my love?
There's an echo. There it goes. There's no echo. I heard an echo. I was like,
Can you hear me
anywho,
okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Wonderful. I thought there
Today,
was a little bit of a delay, but there's not. Okay, cool. We're good. We're good.
oh no, I just didn't want to speak again, and I didn't want to have no issues. I didn't want to
Hello, hello,
violate.
hello, hello, hello.
I'm not interested in violating the ears of the listeners.
Right, or Karen Clark Shear. You're not alone, not alone, not alone, not alone, not alone.
And
You're
you're
not
not.
alone, not alone, not alone, not alone. Wow, whoa, whoa, wow, whoa, whoa, wow, whoa. I'll get too much into that.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on the couple of things that I talked about? I know you don't watch Survivor, so you don't have to mention that. But did you know that there was a new Noah's Ark movie coming out on June 20th?
Believe it or not, I sent a TikTok about it, just making sure you knew.
Jesus, yeah, I'm so sorry that I didn't watch my TikToks before I came on today. It kind of just went past my mind, but
No
I'm
worries.
so excited. Apparently, Noah and Wade are going to adopt or have some type of child, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, Wade had his shirt off in the sneak peek that I saw.
As
But
you
hey,
should. No, no,
the girls want to see the body, honey. Okay, we want to see the body, honey. Okay.
because it's still doing what it's supposed to do.
Okay, all greased up, honey. All greased up, honey. Just like we like to see it. Um,
So,
mm.
um,
But are
but
you excited about it? Because I know I am.
I think it's gonna be amazing. I think it's gonna be great. I'm um I'm excited to see what they have done. And to be honest, I think I appreciate a movie a little bit more than a series again, another series.
'Cause
I
that's what a lot of
feel
people were asking for. A lot of people were asking for
yeah.
the show to come back, but, that's a lot
To
of
be
money and a lot of
honest, I
time.
believe if they do a whole other show, I think they need to totally redo it.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I would love. I would love for them to reboot the show with maybe, if not all new characters, at least have new actors play the roles, and the same
Mm-mm.
and just have the same names, but
Totally different.
okay.
Totally different. Because it's like a cult classic, you know what I'm saying? So you
Right.
don't want anybody else playing those iconic roles.
Nobody else playing Noah. No one else can play Alex. No one else can play Ricky. No one else can play Chance. No one else can play Wade, honey. Jensen
Mm-mm.
Atwood? Hell no.
No, no. That's why I say we need a totally different thing, but keep it in California because I don't know why. I just enjoyed the whole Cali feel of Noah's Ark.
It
So
is
keep it out
also.
there. Yeah,
Noah's
because
still to be a writer. Noah and Wade.
child,
I guess it
what
doesn't matter.
I say, I still keep it as Noah's Ark,
Right.
but like it's an updated. That's just the name of the show. Okay, if you don't
Yeah,
know why
yeah,
it's named
right.
Noah's Ark, then get up on it. You know what I'm
The
saying?
main character's name don't even have to be Noah.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's called Noah's Ark.
Okay, that's all you need to know. That's to bring the
Watch
fans
it.
back.
Okay,
That's to bring the intrigue. Oh, Noah's Ark. Hey, I know this. Okay. Yes,
okay.
it will have everybody watch. Child.
But what else did I want to speak on? You mentioned yes, you did make me watch Noah's Ark.
Okay.
'Cause I wasn't trying to watch it. Not saying that I had a disdain for any of it, like, I didn't know what you wanted me to watch. So, usually when you say, "Hey, watch this," you're like, "I don't know what that is, and I don't wanna watch it, so leave me alone." But he just turned it on, and we watched all both seasons.
There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, because it sounded as if I had to convince you to watch it, but there was no
Oh,
convincing
no.
involved. Okay,
No
cool.
no convincing at all. You there was a DVD player in the TV, so you just put the DVD into it, and then magically we were watching Noah's Ark.
The fact that I brought it with me sounds as if that was my plan from the get-go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's alright, though.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. We got any comments to get to before we get into these topics, girl?
Of course, Dustin says hi.
Hey, Dustin.
Hello, Dustin. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Um, I'm fine.
Okay.
Please excuse me.
You're
Um,
excused.
Miss Kim is here. Hey, Miss Kim.
Good evening, Miss Kim. Greetings and salutations, my love. Your highness, honey. Your honey. We're so glad you're here, Miss Thang. Miss Thang. That's what I want to call you, Miss Kim. Miss Thang, because you are definitely Miss Thang, honey. Come on,
Okay.
Monica.
John Miss Kim said, "Hey Jonathan, keep up the great work on your
Thank you
channel.
so much. Thank you
Keep
so
pushing,
much.
Jonathan. Keep
I
pushing."
will. I will.
Miss Kim says, I saw one tell me change. Hold on. Oh, I saw one tell me challenge. The son looked like he was river dancing.
Yeah, yeah. They're struggling out here, girl. They are the childrens are struggling on.
They didn't get it.
You got to get a lot of height to it. That's A number one. B number two, you got to make sure your legs are doing the right movements, and you got to go from side to side, side to
Okay.
side. Okay.
Man, maybe they just don't understand why we needed to know. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Okay.
Okay, so anywho, um, it's Bianca. Hey,
Hey, Bianca. So glad you're here, boo.
um, and she said happy Thursday to Dustin and Miss Kim, and Miss Kim says, oh Lord, is that fool of the United States of America? She said, "Fotis is not getting false information. He's lying. Mainstream media is not clocking his BS." Because
Right. If there was like complete genocide in South Africa, do you not think that that would be a news headline? Like, come on. Like, I haven't not heard that from anyone until he said that.
yeah, it's like now that you're in South Africa and the South Africans, the African, okay, they're all African, but the Black
Mhm.
South Africans, they are pretty much taking over and somewhat systemically keeping you down. It's like it's difficult to care, but here's what's funny though. Um, some of the ticks I should have. I don't think I sent you any TikToks on it, but if I see any more, I will send it out to you.
Okay.
But I actually saw a white South African talk about it. Somebody that already lives out here in America,
Okay.
and that person said they don't know how to farm. They don't know how to do any of that.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
what you thought this was gonna be,
Right.
but it's
Yeah.
like, well, since these people don't like the Mexicans, I'll just find some other people. Cause you know how they were trying to get people from Sweden and, the purest of the people from the Caucasus Islands. They wanted them to come to America rather than those others. But,
Mhm.
they happy where they living, and
Yeah.
they ain't trying to come here, and I don't blame them. Not saying this is horrible, but it's my horrible well, okay, it's not horrible. It's my country. You know what I'm saying? I love my country.
Right.
I mean, no matter what kind of trauma you have living here, it's like, "Hey, this is our place. If I ever get pushed to the point where I need to leave, where would I go?
Mhm.
Would you move anywhere, Jonathan? To another country?
If I had the means, absolutely. Absolutely.
But which country, though?
Absolutely. I don't want to live in the UK, to be honest. I've always had a fascination with the UK ever since I started seeing the Spice Girls. They were the first
Mhm.
people I feel as though they were the first people I ever heard with an English accent, and that's what made me love them. So that's one of the things that made me love them so much. Um, Kevin from the Scorpion Show had a lot of fans from the UK. I think one of his names was Jared or Gerard. He was a Libra too. We got along really
Mhm.
really great. And so I've always wanted to visit the UK. And it's funny that I would want to visit the UK before I would want to visit Africa. But I guess I guess I'm because from a young age I've always wanted to go to the UK.
Mhm.
That's the reason
Yeah.
why I haven't had that desire to go to Africa. But yeah, I would love to live in the UK.
I think if I moved, I think the hmm, I think I would lean more towards South Africa. If I were
Okay.
to go to another country, I know there's availability in Ghana for us to live out there,
Okay.
but I need just a little bit more convincing. I have watched a few Ghana movies and shows, you know what I'm saying? I'd
Mhm.
have to see, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure and hear some more people of their, experience out there. But, yeah, I mean, but I like where I'm
Is Savage Beauty based in Ghana? I can't remember what country in Africa that's
Savage
based in.
Beauty, that is that's gay. Yeah. No, 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 that's South Africa.
Oh, South Africa. Okay. Okay.
Imma do my Googles. Um, Let me go ahead and do the rest. Miss Kim says, "Hey, Bianca." Miss Kim, she also says, "It's not fool of the United States, it's felon of the United States."
Absolutely.
I like
Yes.
fool too, but felon,
Felon fits
good
a little
one.
bit better.
Yeah.
More accurate.
Who's driving?
Hey, Auntie Robin. So glad you're here, boo. Love seeing your face, boo.
Bianca says, "Happy Thursday, Miss Robin." And Miss Robin says, "Auntie Robin is here.
Yes,
Yes."
she is. And we love seeing you, my love. We love seeing you.
Yes. She says, "I love you all." Love you too.
We love you too, Auntie Robin. We are a
Mm,
family
come on.
like a giant
Come on.
tree.
What we doing?
Branching out towards the sky, we are a
Yes. We
family.
are what?
We are so much more than just you and I. We are a family, like a giant tree, growing
Come
stronger,
on. Come on.
growing wiser. We are growing free. We need you.
We
'Cause we are a
come on. We
family. Yes.
yes. Come on, performance. Did that.
Yeah.
And we felt it because we said it.
Right.
Okay. Miss Kim says only 4% of Black South Africans own land in South Africa.
Wow. 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 In Africa, only 4% of us.
In
Jeez
South
Louise.
Africa. In South Africa.
I was about to ask a question, but never mind. Well, let's move on. Okay, because it's about to sound real racist, honey.
Robin says, "Hey, Miss Bianca Edwards." Miss Kim says, "I would get a flat in London. Let's go, Jonathan. We could be roomies."
Yes, Miss Kim. I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, girl. Oh my gosh, you got me excited, Miss Kim, because I would love to do that. Now, I have heard that their food isn't the best. Like I heard that they lack seasoning over there.
But
That's
just
the
go to the
biggest
cultural
thing.
food. You'll be all right.
Exactly. So, you find your places. I'm sure there is good food somewhere in the UK
But
because
you
there
will
are
have to make your own soul food, I think.
I'm sure we would, but there are quite a few black people in the UK and quite a few black people in France and quite a few black people in Germany too. But hey, it is what it is.
Miss Kim says, oh yeah, she already said I already said that. Auntie Robin says, "Do not do that, Joe Nathan." She said, "Nah, I'm singing."
Yes. It's contagious, honey. I can't help it.
We can't help it. Did you like my interpretive dance, Jonathan?
Of course. Of
Thank you.
course. The perfect accoutrement to my performance. I loved it. You like that? Using big words, honey. Okay. Accoutrement. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds real fancy, like, you know what I'm saying? Pinky out.
Okay. Oh, child, we too much. Miss Kim says we cannot forget that a felon is holding the highest office in the country.
And
Agreed.
I would say in the world, but maybe not. I don't know. I
Just
don't know.
leave that
That
there.
that that could be
I'm gonna Google
argued.
Savage Beauty now.
Please do. While you do that, y'all, we have gotten into the second week of the Diddy trial. We had Don Richard, and I hate that people keep on saying Richard when she's said it in so many interviews. It is Richard, Don Richard. Yes, it is. It seems to be spelled like Richard, but it is pronounced Richard. So Don Richard was on the stand. She started on the stand last Friday, and then she came back onto the stand to complete and finish her testimony this past Monday. She was asked to retell the story of seeing the physical stuff that went on between Diddy and Cassie. Said that Cassie was making some eggs and he took the pan and tried to assault her with it, and all that good stuff. And the defense was saying that she's told that stories a couple different ways. Some things have changed as different iterations of that story have been told along the way. Earlier today, Kid Cudi, he testified. He said that Diddy is like a Marvel villain on the stand. He said Diddy is like a Marvel villain, but he also
Hmm.
said that both he and Diddy were played by Cassie. I don't know exactly. I mean, I think I can get what he meant by that. He may not have known that Diddy and Cassie were still, together, sort of, kind of. And
It's
of course,
possible.
Diddy didn't know about Kid Cudi being in a relationship with Cassie. So
But
I
he
can
ain't had
understand.
but Diddy ain't had to do what he did.
Right. Hold on. Who didn't have to do what he did?
Did he?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Set the man's car on fire. Which is a complete Marvel villain move. I mean, hey, it is
Okay.
what it is. And some others have testified. So I say that I was happy that Dawn Richard was on the stand, and I understand why she was on the stand, because she was privy to a lot of things that went on between Diddy and Cassie. I don't think she really testified about any of the freak offs or anything of that nature, but she testified to the DV that she witnessed with her own
She
eyes.
saw.
She also said that they were having dinner in Hollywood. The other member of Diddy Dirty Money, Neo and Usher were in attendance at this dinner, along with some other people. And she said that Diddy punched her in the gut, punched her in the stomach. Yeah, whew. And it's so interesting to me. And I'm assuming she said that because he did it in front of everyone. And I cannot imagine sitting at that table, seeing that happen, and not seeing anyone stick up for Cassie. Um, And I'm sure that's exactly what happened because if someone said, "Diddy, you got to stop all that bullshit," but it's when you're in certain situations, there are certain things that keep you quiet. And I get that. I really do understand why no one said anything. Like I get it. Diddy's a very powerful man. Diddy probably can pull a lot of strings and, if you're working with him, you don't want to lose that, but again, right is right and wrong is wrong at the end of the day. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Did you hear about when she got hands put on her on a flight on the PJ, the private jet?
Oh, no, no, no. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. It was from I think it was the assistant that was testifying,
Hmm.
and that happened. He said that she was on her back on the floor with her legs up trying to defend herself,
Wow.
and he was, wailing on her. Um, and she actually said out her mouth, this so everybody, no one's gonna say nothing. She said that. So no one's
Wow.
going to say nothing. You got a
Wow.
private jet full of people, and this is going on. And
I
he said
mean,
when he saw her, her face was bruised up. She was bloody. And it's
wow.
like, what are you willing to sacrifice?
Mm,
Like that is, in my opinion, is part of the process of selling your soul. Just letting everything within you that's saying this should not be, just letting that go because of who this person is.
mm.
God bless him.
But yeah, a lot of testimony that went on this week. I think Diddy must have like at least four defense lawyers. Like he has so many defense lawyers. It's crazy to me. But um, I've been hearing a lot of recaps. Thank you,
Mhm.
Dustin, for sending me those recaps. I appreciate it. Um, I don't know where this verdict is going to go. I really don't. And maybe if I was seeing actual footage and not just getting tidbits, I'd have a complete understanding as to whether they are truly proving the charges that they have charged him with. Um, because the majority of what I've been hearing is about DV. However, I do understand how that ties into the charges that he has been charged with. So maybe in the coming weeks, we'll get more into the meat and potatoes of the actual charges themselves and how he committed those crimes, and proof that he actually committed those crimes. But I a lot of people were saying that Dawn Bashard's testimony was really not good for the prosecution because her story changed concerning what she saw, so from time to time. I understand why some people might say that. However, she was able to verify a lot of the things that Cassie said on the stand, and I was at least happy
Yeah, I
about
heard that.
that. But Jennifer, what were your thoughts on Dawn Bashard's testimony? There were some other people that testified besides Dawn, and Kid Cudi, but those are the people of notes that I understand testified this week. What were your thoughts?
To be honest, I was mostly interested in the testimony of the oh gosh, the
Personal assistant?
authorities,
Oh,
the
oh, yeah,
authorities that
that
were
raided his house.
yeah, that raided his house, hearing
Yes, all the
about
pills and whatnot, the
all
drugs.
the drugs
Okay,
because they were there.
the illicit substances.
Mhm. And hearing about the copious amounts of Astroglide and baby and
I'm thinking Diddy like to see them bands greased up
grease.
real good, honey.
Um,
Okay, and who can blame
so
them?
I that's the evidence that I actually was here for, though the crime is basically kinda, like, sprinkled into the testimonies of other people, the things that he's done. Yes, the DV was there, but it was enabled by other people and the other things that they were doing at the
Mhm.
time, as far as flying people in, as well as having like the assistant. I think the assistant, that was the most damning in my opinion,
Why is that?
because he's the one had to pay for the illicit drugs. He said he was paying for it with money that was given to him by who?
Did it?
allegedly, because I ain't gonna
Hmm.
act like I know everything.
Right.
But yeah, I think his was the worst because he was just one of those people that was doing it. Yeah, he was setting up for the freak FOs, freak offs, but he was also, you know, getting the illegal stuff and bringing it in. So I believe those testimonies, yes, I think his testimony went more towards that. Though I believe all of the testimonies painting the picture.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely.
his, you could really see like he really had to put together a lot, especially with putting the whole thing, putting Cassie up in a hotel for a week,
Hmm.
so she can be on the mend, can't leave, got to do
Okay.
this.
Have to heal a little bit.
Yeah, or hearing about from him, hearing about how, the bodyguards, you know, ran to go get her, when she's so, hearing about all of those things, I believe that, you know, things are coming together as one. But I don't know why. I was just more interested in the physical evidence that we were able to see, and that God bless him.
And how sure are you? I know we're only 2 weeks into the trial, but how sure are you that he will be found guilty? Because right now I'm at like 60-40 that he'll be found
Mm.
guilty, at least right now. What are your thoughts on that?
If you ask my husband if I'm a betting woman, he'd say no.
Okay, yeah, you typically aren't a betting woman because when we were talking about the residents, you didn't want to give me no kind of answer as to who you thought done it.
'Cause
So
I wanted to just be a part of the process, but can I tell you something, Jonathan?
tell me something good.
They said this thing is gonna be lasting until July. To be honest, I think they got it.
Because we've only scratched we barely scratched the surface. Barely scratched the surface. This thing might go on for 10 weeks, y'all. 10 weeks.
And some people, believe that what was I gonna say? I'm just only imagining, like, what other things are we gonna be hearing about?
Right.
At this point, it's like, I know he did it because, when they kept on saying, Did he do it?" I've been saying it before even his trial, he did it, but allegedly.
Mhm.
But I believe there's a lot of tea that's gonna come out, a lot more tea, or it's just different stories. I've been seeing so many people say, "You know what? Imma have to disconnect from this. This is too freaky for me." Stuff like
Right.
that.
And federal prosecutors have over 90% win rate when it comes to their cases. They win their cases over 90% of the time. And so you have to understand that federal prosecutors don't bring charges unless they know that they can win the case. So
Can I tell you when I knew they got it?
when,
During them raids.
yeah, yeah, hmm,
Well, that's
hmm,
when I knew it was done. DONE,
right,
honey, it's
yeah,
done. And hearing that, they got tipped off, I wanna know who's snitching. They got tipped
right. I'm,
they did
I'm,
their raid at 3.
I was thinking that maybe it might have been someone who was working for him, but I'm thinking that's probably not the case. So I don't know. I don't know.
Mm. But, I do believe more people are gonna turn over just like that assistant did,
Right.
so that they can, be absolved of any, accusations. Because, like you said, he was buying narcotics.
And also pictures of the S workers were revealed.
I meant to say that, Jonathan.
Yes. What were you gonna say about it? Because the
One thing
men's honey was
one thing all over TikTok they keep on saying is, "Where the ladies?"
where are the women's? Where are the ladies at? Where are they at? We are looking for females and they are nowhere to be
And for some reason,
found.
I didn't even think about that, but when somebody said that on the TikTok I was like, "Hey,
And
that's a
once
solid
again,
question."
that doesn't make Diddy gay. I don't think that Diddy
Mm.
is gay at all. I just think that he is an equal opportunity lover. With control mixed into that as well. Um,
I think he has a control issue.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, hey, it's them
And
men's was
also another thing I don't think he ever got with any of those men the men that I believe he got with were the people that he was able to dominate.
Exactly. Right. Hmm. Yeah. And when that man, that man named Jonathan from Florida who bum rushed the Trump towers down there in Florida and said that he was a S slave for
Mhm.
Diddy, like
Yeah.
we should have all taken him so much more seriously because it seemed like maybe he was inebriated or maybe he was just talking out of his ass, but no, he was speaking truth because his picture was right up there. I think his might have been the first picture that was released. Honey, but I
To be
think
honest,
his
can I tell you what I felt, Jonathan?
first I have to say something real quick. I don't think Diddy got no type. Did he? I don't think he got no type because the variety of men's
That he wants to
that
see with
were
her.
child. Anyways, go ahead, Jennifer.
I believed him from Jump Street.
Mm,
There are a lot of conspiracy theories that I'd be like, okay, you're pushing it. But with that one, he if you saw the interview, yeah, it looked like he might have been a little off.
a little bit.
But he
That's what
was
it sounds
speaking
like.
a little bit too coherently though.
Right. He was very
'Cause when
coherent.
you if you out here making up stories, it might be a little disjointed, but no,
A little
everything
all
was
over the place.
yeah, but that
Yeah.
was not that man was telling his life story.
And he was so specific about it too.
Specific.
So specific about it. And I hope that didn't ruin his NDA because he did sign an NDA with Diddy and that was released as well.
Or
So
maybe the fact that he did it while under
in custody, while in
in custody,
custody,
maybe that might have saved it. I don't know.
it might have. I
Need a
don't know.
lawyer. Okay.
Okay, ciao. Anyways, we got any comments to get to, Gert?
Believe it or not, no.
All righty then. It was announced earlier this week, and thank you, Dustin, once again for sending me this information. Our former president, Joe Biden, has been diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer. They said that the cancer has reached his bones. They say it's an aggressive form of the cancer.
Mhm.
Um, I guess maybe I don't know if he had not been getting his prostate checked or whatever the case might have been, but a lot of people are saying, if they had caught it sooner, he would be in better shape. Now, right now, Joe Biden, he was on The View, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. He looked just fine. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, in the beginning, that's the way a lot of people look. But once you start
Oh,
getting
yeah.
into treatment, once you start getting into chemo, things of those natures, a lot of times you start seeing the decline from there. I'm just praying, and I got to pray for Joe Biden tonight because I've already done my nightly prayer, but I got to pray for Joe Biden tonight. But I was incredibly sad to hear it. And I was shocked to see that our president put out such a kind post concerning it. I don't know if he just thought that it would look better for him to do that instead of, wishing, the worst for him. And if he were not to say what he said, then he would definitely be looked at as an evil person. So I understand why he released the statement that he did. But I'm just so
But
sad
he's not a part of the president's club.
right.
They ain't paying him no mind.
They don't want him to go nowhere. They ain't inviting him to but
He wish you
but Joe Biden's family has been through so much tragedy.
Oh, yeah.
So much tragedy.
But this is
And
the way I look at it, Jonathan, though.
mhm,
This man has lived life.
he
He was
has.
able to do that. He was able to do what he could for this country
Right.
before he, could walk away. And to be honest, I believe it's time for him to just go ahead, live life. And if he got to go to glory, sign his train ticket. That'll be his last train. Cause this train is a clean train. This train.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. It's just sad to see. But we are all of our best wishes to Joe Biden. Also, I wanted to also mention, going back to Diddy really quickly, Cassie's mother, she testified earlier this week as well.
Huh? Now
And
that's going towards the case right there.
Absolutely, because she mentioned that she took out a loan to pay Diddy back. I think it was $10,000 or $20,000.
$20,000.
She took out either a loan or something about her house, something of that nature. But that's crazy to me. That is
Just because he said.
crazy to me.
Miss Kim said, "I can't believe I used to have a crush on Diddy. I cringe at the thought. Me too. You know what? You must have been looking at him with glasses on all the time. As soon as he take them glasses off, DON in her.
Child, like the shock, and I won't say horror, but I was just flabbergasted when I saw him without glasses. Like, where do my eyes come from, and why are they bulging out like that? But hey, it is what it is,
Ooh.
y'all. So 10 prisoners from New Orleans escaped, and they escaped apparently with the help of one of the guards. And the guard stated that he was threatened, that he would be, if he didn't
He
help
get
him out,
poked.
he would be, yes, poked. Yes, that's a great word to use, poked. And he has been arrested. He is now in custody. I believe that they found 3 or 4 of the men who have escaped, and I believe 6 are still at large at this point. This is crazy to me because I've heard of prison breaks before in movies and TV shows, and I've heard of escapees before. Typically, it's only 1 or 2, but 10 prisoners is 10 prisoners escaped. Like, what is the
Crazy.
security looking like in that facility? Because for 10 of these N-words to make it up out of here,
Well, all it takes is one door to be open, friend.
that is true. That is very true. And if they're, standing in, single file line and they, heading straight on out,
Did you see the video? That's exactly how it looked.
right. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's crazy to me that they were able to pull this off. And this seemed like they must have been planning this thing for a long time. But I was shocked to hear that 10 prisoners escaped from a New Orleans prison. And it's crazy to me. And of course, they had to have had help. This could not have happened without the help of someone who was working at the prison themselves. So it's obvious that this happened. I'm surprised that it was only one guard that helped him out, because I'm thinking that this had to be a whole thing here, like multiple people helping them out. But maybe they've only charged one person with helping them. Maybe other charges are soon to come. But Jennifer, what were your thoughts when you heard that 10, count them out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 prisoners escaped from a New Orleans prison, girl?
Maybe I feel I don't know. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations on your ingenuity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You did your big one. You know. Um, but I think the only thing I can do is just hope that no one gets you know,
No one gets harmed by these
yeah,
escaped
they don't do
prisoners.
bad
Yeah.
things.
Right.
Cause it's like, you would hope that's, if you go out there, you're not doing nothing that will get anybody, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just don't
Yeah.
go out on
Anybody hurt?
a spree or nothing like that.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's scary. But what are they
Mhm.
gonna do?
Right. Yeah. What are they going to do? So earlier, I believe it was earlier this week, if not last week, Jason Lee he wasn't on his show, but he seemed to be on some type of podcast, and he revealed a text message that he received from Tory Lanez. And in this text message, because Jason Lee was like, when you coming out, for some reason, Tory was like, in less than a year, I'll be back out. Delusions of grandeur, child. Anyways, he told Jason Lee, and this confused the hell out of me because I have no idea why Jason Lee would have any kind of contact with Tory Lanez. But maybe they have a relationship, or not a relationship, but a friendship of some sort. Because I'm not going to accuse them of being in any type of thing, have any type of thing going on. But it just doesn't make much sense to me that Tory Lanez would be in communication with Jason Lee. But anyway, Jason went on to say that Tory Lanez told him that I took a rep for Kelsey, never wanted her to go to jail. So I don't know if because I don't believe. I do not believe, because if Megan said someone assaulted her, I believe what Megan says, or what Megan said out of her mouth on the stand under oath. I don't think that Megan would, misinterpret a male for a female. I don't think it just doesn't make sense to me. But apparently, Tori is still trying to, push this narrative. And once again, why is it that this happens after conviction and after sentencing? That doesn't
Hmm.
make much sense to me. When after you've been sentenced 10 plus years, that's when we then, because is it like, a buyer's remorse? Like, oh, now I'm regretting taking this rap for Kelsey, and it's just very annoying, very very annoying to see. Jennifer, did you see that Jason Lee revealed this information, and what were your thoughts on it? I know you know he's guilty, but what were your thoughts about this last stitch effort to claim innocence?
Yeah, they tried it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, they definitely tried
Um,
it.
what's crazy to me is the whole in 36 hours, I'll tell you, what happened. I have this bombshell of information. It's like none of this will help him out. None of
No.
this will help him out of the prison system.
Right.
I'm trying. It's like they're trying so hard to win public opinion before they
Right.
actually win a case.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what bothers me.
And the problem is
Um,
they're doing it after they lost said case.
and then it's like, if you want to uphold a non-snitching culture, that is certainly up to you. If that's what you want to do, but let's not get too surprised at the simple fact that if you get in trouble and you decide you want to hold on to something,
Mhm.
I don't feel I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care.
Yeah, I understand. You went on a little bit longer than I even expected you to, girl. I thought
It's
you would have been
it's
like,
just
"Child,
straight
next."
up foolishness,
It
Jonathan.
is. It is foolishness. It is
Over
foolishness.
it.
And the fact that this information is getting so much traction, of course, I'm not surprised that a lot of people are talking about it. But it's like, I feel as though my ears aren't to the street like they really really should be. However, I feel as though there isn't much support behind Tory in the opinions of a great
Oh, there's a
portion.
big amount, there's a big amount
Okay,
because, there's a lot of people out there that don't like Black women
true that.
and will be happy though they have a Black mother, and will be happy to try to tear down another. So, um, please believe there are plenty of people saying, well, basically people like in these live chats and everything all over TikTok, everything talking about, well, what happened here is this, that, and the third, and that happened, and then Kelsey did this. Like, okay, so why couldn't this story be told on the
On the
stand?
stand
If Megan was
before he was
lying,
convicted and sentenced.
if Megan was lying, you need to go ahead and say something contradictory to what was going on.
Exactly.
But instead, but see, okay, I heard a lot of people explain it like this, Jonathan.
Hmm.
Kelsey went up there pleading the fifth to try her best to have the juror have some reasonable doubt to try to dissuade rather than just. And it's like I guess she was paid the right amount of money so she can talk because she about lost a friend
Right.
that was, from what people say, paying her way. Her receiving some money from the defendant um, would be a positive thing for her.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it is what it is. They can try, and I like to see what happened. But to be honest, for all we know, he's gonna get extradited back to Canada.
Oh, okay. Deportation, honey.
Basically,
Okay.
let me go ahead
Deported.
and put this in here. Miss Kim said, 2 weeks ago, Joe and Jill were on a bike ride. He eats healthy and he's active. Uh, a felon of the United States didn't write that S word. And I believe that too.
Mm,
Because, sometimes he be sounding eloquent and sound like he got sense. And I might that's him. Miss
right.
Kim says, God will cover Joe. I believe he will recover. Well, that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Let
That's
me
all of
share
our
it for you
hopes,
too.
girl.
Titty McCullum says, them boys was gotta their was out of there like a fire drill. They were. Let's see here. Miss Kim says, I was young and attracted to the money. Understood. Understood.
I see that. I see that.
Miss Kim says, whoo, my sentiments exactly. Jason Lee is a bottom feeder. He attaches himself to any celebrity he can. Agreed wholeheartedly. Mamere. Hello, Mamere.
Hey, Mamir.
Peace
Emphasis
and
on
love to you.
bottom. Hello, Mamir. How are you? Because when he had Candace Owens on his show, I was.
All right now. All right. Mamere said, good
How can
evening,
we take you
everyone.
seriously, Jason Lee? How do you expect us to take you seriously? But I wouldn't. I'm not going to take him
Mhm.
seriously, especially
Never will.
when he confronted Kirk Franklin on gay rumors. I was done. I was done. 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 Okay. Done. And that was like over 10 years ago. So I never saw it for Jason Lee. Anyways, I'm so happy that SZA came out and supported Meg Thee Stallion. I was so
That's
happy.
good.
And I really didn't even recognize her in that video. She is a beautiful woman without no makeup on. She's a beautiful, young looking girl.
Mamir said, sorry I'm late. I set notifications, but our weather is interfering with our internet connection. Jeez
Oh
Louise.
no. Well, we're glad that you made it into the comments, boo.
And we prayed the Lord calm the storm.
Yes, absolutely.
Right, and everybody says hello to Mamir. Mamir says hey to Miss Kim. And Bianca says hey to Mamir. And you said it was SZA that said something too?
Yes, SZA came out and supported Meg Thee Stallion.
Well, that's wonderful. We need more. I can't expect a whole lot of black men to do it, but the black men that I have seen stand up for her, I think it's really nice that they, made sure to say something because Megan's like, leave me alone.
Absolutely. So it is graduation season. Apparently, Virginia State and Johnson C. Smith graduates had their fans out and they were celebrating to Boots on the Ground. And I thought that was amazing. And I'm still amazed that the artist of that song is from South Kakalaki. So shout out to all my people
South
from
Carolina,
South
yeah.
Carolina. That's amazing. And I saw that there were fireworks done at a graduation, and also at the University of Miami, they had a whole like light entertainment thing going on. It was amazing. So shout out to all the graduates out there. We support you. We love you. So Denzel Washington had to check somebody at the Cannes
Child, yeah.
Film Festival. I believe they touched him or something of that nature, and
Yep.
he had his finger in their face, and then tried to touch him again after Denzel spoke. The things that be happening at the Cannes Film Festival. Remember, I believe it was Kelly Rowland who had to tell a security guard off at the Cannes Film Festival. I think 2 years ago it was. I believe Will Smith has had to slap somebody for trying to kiss him at the Cannes Film Festival. Like, child, like, but you don't. Why would it could. I know it wasn't a black person that did this to Denzel, but why would you try something like that and invade someone's personal space like that?
It's not
And
the first time.
right, and it's like they wanted a reaction. They wanted him to do what he did, and I think Denzel might have known that. Maybe he didn't know that in the moment, but I'm sure he knows that now. At
I
least
feel like he's in the space where he doesn't care anymore.
right,
I think
because
if it was like 10 years before, 10, 15 years before, he
Mhm.
wouldn't have done I don't think he would have done much. But now it's like, F that.
I don't give up. I don't give up. You don't touch. You don't touch nobody. You don't put your hands on nobody. Keep your hands to yourself. If
And
you do
use that
not
finger like
learn,
Kelly Rowland did.
right? If you do, okay, because Kelly Rowland put that woman in her place. Okay, you know, for those of you you guys who did not watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, John Walker made the grave mistake of touching the Dora Milaje, Ayo to be more specific.
Child.
And as soon as he reached over,
Hemmed up.
got hemmed all the way up. The door, them three women got all them niggas together. Okay, all of them, all of them.
You thought?
Okay, you don't touch nobody, especially when you don't know them. You don't touch nobody.
I don't
Like
care how much
it's
super serum you got. You get
okay.
handled.
Handled with a quickness, okay, and Denzel put that person in his place.
God bless him.
God bless
You know
Denzel
he's an
Washington.
ordained minister now, right?
Makes perfect sense. Makes sense to me. You know, and it's awesome. I fully support Denzel. And I love him for everything that he brings to us, not only as Americans, but as African Americans. I love him so much. I wanted to spend the last few minutes of our do we have any comments before we move on, Jennifer?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read them comments out for us.
I said
Oh, you said
no.
no. Oh, okay. Okay, all right. So I wanted to end the show just talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta really quickly for the last 3 minutes. I know we discussed it a little bit on the Live of the Leo this past Monday for our, what do you call it? Our re
Decompression.
something. Decompression, yes, decompress Mondays. But I am, and I don't know if I said this after the show or before we went off the air, but I have a feeling that Phaedra coming into the fold is going to push Shamia to the side, and I think Shamia will have a clearer understanding of how Portia operates and how fake Portia is. And I want to see Angela have some redemption. I saw that Kelly was on Watch What Happens Live, and she practically read Brit for filth. Excuse me, saying that everything about Brit is fake, which I believe. I absolutely believe, child, because I don't believe in that marriage whatsoever. I mean, allegedly, because that man that she's married to seems to have zero interest in Brit in any way, shape, and or form. There are some rumors about his sexuality. I don't feed into those rumors personally because it's so easy to say that you think that someone is part of the LGBTQIA plus community without you knowing them. Because of course there are certain signs. Some people call it gaydar, whatever the case might be. Yes, I did see some of those things as well. However, I don't like to accuse others of being something that I
'Cause we
don't
don't know.
know that they are before I have clear evidence of them actually saying out of their mouths that they are this, and that. However, I'm glad that Kelly doesn't see it for Britt, at least now, because during the show, Kelly seems to be kind of buddying up with Britt, but I think that's because Kelly saw that Britt really didn't have any friends in the cast. And
Mm.
Kelly, I don't think really had too many friends in the cast either. And so kind of by default, she kind of teamed up with her, but I'm glad that Kelly knows better. At least it seems as though she knows better. I don't want to see Drew next season. I don't want to see Portia next season. And I do
Ooh.
not want to see Britt next season at all. Those three girls can go. Keep Angela, keep Kelly, keep Cynthia. Please keep Cynthia. Because I love what Cynthia is doing this season, being the motherly figure, being sort of kind of the matriarch of the season, being the peacemaker of the season. I love that she's trying to keep the girls together, trying to keep peace among the girls. But I can say that I'm not excited to see Phaedra back next week. But I don't see Phaedra getting into the mess. I see Phaedra trying to be a Cynthia type. She might be a little messy. Of course, Phaedra knows how to read a bitch.
Oh
Now, I
yeah.
mean, she got the reads on lock. And they don't sound rehearsed either, as it does with some other girls we may know. But
I can say one of her best reads was a little rehearsed, but it was so good I overlooked it.
Okay, because that season 6
That
read to
pizza.
Kenya about, that pizza and, the
Ooh,
but
what
to
a
know
time to
the
be
father of
alive.
your baby was so broke he ejaculated in a
And
cup
and sh and then
to
she
buy a pizza. so that you could have a child. Now check that.
That dismount. Now check that.
Okay. Red for Phil and Kenya had nothing to say.
Child,
Not a
all she had was like a girl bad. Like,
okay. Like girl, she just read you down to the ground, honey. Okay.
ooh,
Anyways, but
tea.
I can't say that I'm excited to see Phaedra. However, I'm interested in seeing how she's going to fit with this group of girls. I have a feeling she'll fit a little bit better than she did with Married to Medicine. Um, but I'll be
I
interested to
agree.
see how she fits with these girls. Do you think it's going to be a positive thing for Phaedra to come back to Housewives of Atlanta? How are you seeing her return?
I hope she finds her way. I hope she finds
Mhm.
her footing. I hope she finds some business.
She's typically good at those things. She's typically good.
Yeah, so it's like I think she'll be all right. Um, but I don't expect her to do any grown woman stuff on there.
Really?
I don't.
Okay. Because those are my
Um,
expectations for sure.
I don't expect that. To be honest, I believe that voice of reason that we found in Cynthia is just going to remain. And to be honest, I believe that Phaedra will just try her best to continue to be young at heart, and
Yeah.
God bless her.
Try to keep up with Portia and them. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do see that happening. I do. But one thing about Phaedra, her hair is forever on point. Do you hear me? Like her hair stays laid. Like I'm thinking Tokyo Styles must be doing her wigs because her wigs be top notch at all times. Not from Dr. Heavenly's beauty supply. Okay, but
Which is now no longer.
of course, not surprised by that whatsoever. And it seems like she had a big store too. Go ahead and get to those.
I don't think she had a heart for it.
Probably
Um,
didn't.
but Dustin says, "Have a good night. I love you.
Good night, Dustin.
Good night." Amira says good night to Dustin, as well as Bianca saying good night to Dustin. Miss Kim says Denzel preaching. I'm at the church house every Sunday. Now I wouldn't be upset with that one.
Okay.
I'd be up in there because that man is full of wisdom. I
Denzel forever got a word for somebody. Okay.
Okay, okay, and the word is leave before the devil comes to the party.
Exactly.
Bianca
Okay.
says, "Cause I don't care that they say that he was at those parties. Yeah, he was, but he left before the devil came."
Okay. You
Um,
think Denzel would participate in child.
Miss Bianca, Bianca says, "Miss Kim." She's laughing at Miss Kim. And Bianca says, "I agree, Jonathan." And Miss Kim also says, "Angela is clocking the girls.
Okay.
She's she's so unbothered and doesn't raise her voice as she reads them down. That's the best kind."
Absolutely. I love me some Angela. Angela and Kelly are my favorites this season, hands down. I think I like Kelly a little bit more than Angela. But Angela is one of my faves. And I think it might be because she's a little bit of an outsider in this group. And so I like to root for the underdogs a whole lot. But anyways, Jennifer, why don't you go ahead and give us your social media contacts before we get on out of here, girl?
Jeez Louise. Sure. Hold please. Stay on the line.
We're holding patiently.
Hold on. Y'all, I'm the Light of the Leo. You can follow me on TikTok. That's where I'm mostly all day long. At the oh wait, no, I have a job. I don't wait. Anyway, TikTok at the Light of the Leo. Um and also on Instagram at the Light of the Leo. You can follow me there. And also I do have my own YouTube channel at the Light of the Leo. I go live every single Monday. Will I put other content in? Child, baby, one day. We'll see.
Sure.
Sure. I like that. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and just make sure also that you connect with us on Faithful Warrior Ministries. We come together every single Saturday morning at 10-ish a.m. We go live, we come together, we pray, we listen to each other. We just have a good time together. So join us at Faithful Warrior Ministries. Just type in Faithful Warrior Ministries on YouTube. You'll find my afro real quick. I think that's it. Wait, hold on. No, it's not. Notice, yes, Faithful Word Ministries, be there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Jennifer. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is Jonathan Lee07. That's $JONATHANLEE07. Once again, that's $JONATHANLEE07. Thank y'all so much for joining me, joining us rather, this evening for my Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. I love when we get this time together, when we have this time together to just congregate, to commiserate, to just be a family. Love you guys for watching. Make sure you guys look out for my Survivor review that will be again posted by the end of the day tomorrow. I will also be posting my RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10 episode 4 review by more than likely by the end of the weekend, maybe on Sunday or Monday. And I think that's all the announcements that I have. Yeah, I think that's it. So thank y'all for joining us. Join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. But until then, so we'll say bye for now. Hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. We're getting into the weekend, y'all. And y'all stay safe out there. Love you guys for watching. Peace out,
We
y'all.
made it, y'all. Bye.
Bye.